So are you aware of this? Back on August 20th, Hedera actually surpassed 400,000 daily transactions, which was a pretty massive jump actually. And what does this showcase to me? Even though nothing I say is financial advice, and even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything, what it showcases to me is that Hedera is not necessarily a project that is forgotten about if the market were to recover. Because for quite a while, when Hedera wasn't doing so good, people kept telling me, hey, you know what? If one day this market were to recover, they felt like Hedera, or should I say HBAR, was going to get left behind. But seemingly, that's not really the case because, first of all, not only is there a Hedera ETF, but also on the flip side, Hedera has showcased time and time again that if the market were to recover, it kind of mirrors it somewhat to a certain extent. So if it was able to surpass 400,000 daily transactions not that long ago, imagine what that figure would look like if, let's say, the market were to recover much farther. That's the way to take a look at it, because Hedera has shown a tendency to kind of go along with the market, usually when it does recover. And because the infrastructure is literally built for enterprise adoption, we're seeing that Hedera has no issue, handling that much throughput. And again, that statistic right there showcases that it's able to handle that much volume. Like over 400,000 daily transactions, not every single project out there can handle that without experiencing issues. So the fact that Hedera can handle it, it's a pretty telling, I think, story that this is something that has the fundamental qualities to allow for that. It has the capacity, if that kind of makes sense. It's like, for instance, let's say there's a watch that has 100 meters water resistance and the other watch has, 200 meters water resistance, like, this one, the G-Shock Frogman. But yeah, besides that point, this is a diver's watch. But here's the thing, at least there's the capacity, right? It doesn't mean I'll ever dive that deep, if ever, but it showcases that at least it has the capacity. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of Hedera. It has the capacity, and it's kind of showcased that as of late, that, hey, you know what? This can reliably actually sustain that much throughput in just a single day. But I digress. HBAR, as of right now, still being at around 8 cents. Some people like to say, well, the recovery in the past week, almost 23%, but they say it's still so far, comparatively speaking, to January of 2025 when it was at around 34 cents. So they say, hey, this is still over 4 times lower than that, or over 4 times away from that. Let me correct myself there. They say, well, it's still really down in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, that's what I've been saying this entire time. Like, in a sense where the recovery, to me, it feels quite joyful, but it's really still so far away from its peak last year. So personally, in my mind, the journey still feels quite far, which is why when it comes to this, am I happy? Yeah, of course. But the journey still seems a little bit far. It's like watching just 20 minutes of a movie, but then the movie's like 3 hours long. There's still over 2 hours left. That's the analogy that I have when it comes to this. So the journey still seems quite far, which is why, I'm still waiting and I'm still holding. My mindset isn't, a couple days, months. No, it might have to be years. Who knows how long it's going to take for HBAR to come anywhere close back to around 34 cents. That remains to be seen. But on the flip side, I'm willing to wait. And again, seeing this recent recovery, I think it's pretty cool. But again, it seems like the journey is still quite hypothetically far, which is why I'm just still waiting. Now, does this mean that Hedera is going to be the best project of all time? No, I don't think so, even though I am a fan of its fundamentals. Keep in mind, Hedera has a governing council that includes the likes of Google, also Mondelez. Now, Mondelez, their brands do include Oreo and as well as Cliff. Like, the Cliff Bar, its governing council also has the likes of McLaren, also in the case of FedEx and many others. And furthermore, Hedera Hashgraph, because it doesn't use traditional blockchain technology, it uses a directed acyclic graph. It is just so different when compared to the rest of the competition for the most part. And then also on top of that, Hedera is not playing around. It has arguable focus when it comes to enterprise adoption. It has a focus arguably when it comes to AI, real world assets, and also arguably supply chain management. So This is a project, to me at least, that feels hypothetically quite complete. And what's the missing ingredient? To me, it feels like it's just an altcoin season, really. Now, will we see an altcoin season? That remains to be seen. Some people are still wondering whether or not this recovery is going to be prolonged or not. But regardless, the fundamentals are already there. The governing council, when it comes to Hedera, seems already quite complete. It already has the unique factor of being a directed acyclic graph. That missing ingredient, it's just a hypothetical altcoin season or not a big change in market sentiment. Because other projects out there, their fundamentals are not that good yet. So if the market were to recover, they're kind of like, a little bit in a busy mode where they're trying to fix the fundamentals, but it's not really there yet. The market's already kind of recovering. They don't really know what to do. But when it comes to Hedera, the fundamentals are already there. The market sentiment, that's the last missing piece, it seems like, to actually, showcase something. And if there is a big change in market sentiment, Hedera fundamentally seems a little bit more prepared, in my opinion, just because it's already there. So it's in a better position to actually receive mass scale adoption if it were to ever even come. That's the way to take a look at it, but I'm not telling anyone to do anything. Now, if I take a look at HBAR, people like to tell me, well, again, recently crossing 400,000 daily transactions, like who cares about that? Well, keep in mind, that was actually reaching its highest daily throughput in the past week from that post, right? Which, that figure was recorded at, or should I say on, the 20th of August. So in the past week before that, that was the highest it actually achieved in terms of daily throughput. And I think, again, it kind of showcases that if the market hypothetically recovers just a little bit, Hedera's already doing that. But I'm not telling anyone to do anything, and I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward, though. So it's been Lee the Captain, and hopefully I'll see y'all on the next one.